like to welcome everyone to the Board of Commissioners meeting for December the 4th, 2023. Good evening, everyone. The first item of business is the swearing in of the new elected commissioners. Town Clerk Lisa Mark will now do the swearing.
Commissioner Harrison, please. I, Jessica Harrison.
Wait, what do I do here?
Yeah. Raise your right hand, left hand on the Bible, please.
Okay.
I, Jessica Harrison,
I, Jessica Harrison,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of North Carolina,
of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as Commissioner
as Commissioner
of the Town of Zebulon.
of the Town of Zebulon.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
I, Shannon Baxter,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of North Carolina,
of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as Commissioner
as Commissioner
of the Town of Zebulon.
of the Town of Zebulon.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And Commissioner Amber Davis.
Bear with us, I got a crew.
I need you to get a little bit closer. Who's standing on the other side? Alrighty. Left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. I, Amber Davis,
I, Amber Davis,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the Constitution and laws
the constitutional laws
of the United States,
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the constitutional laws
of North Carolina,
of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as Commissioner
as Commissioner
of the Town of Zebulon.
of the Town of Zebulon.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Yes, ma'am. Give these folks another round. Thank you. The next item of business is the election of the mayor pro tem. I will now take nominations for mayor of pro tem.
I'd like to nominate Jessica Harrison.
We have a nomination. Is there a second?
I would like to nominate Quentin Miles.
There's a second.
We-
Second for Jessica Harrison.
Commissioner Baxter is the second.
It's just a nomination. We don't need a second.
We don't need a second?
No, sir.
Okay.
It'll just be a vote after this.
Okay.
Unless there's anyone else.
Commissioner Davis.
I would like to nominate Quentin Miles.
Are there any more nominations? Are we going to do the ballot vote or just
Nope, show of hands.
show of hands?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have Commissioner Harrison. All in favor of Commissioner Harrison? Let's by a show of hands. Did you get the numbers?
Yes, sir, I
Three?
did. Yes, sir.
And all for Commissioner Miles, show of hands. So the vote passes 3-2
For Jessica
for
Harrison.
Jessica
as mayor.
Harrison as mayor pro tem. Next we will have the Pledge of Allegiance, and I saw the Boy Scouts in here, and every time I see them, I always like to recognize the Boy Scouts. Come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Thank you. Next, we'll have the approval of the agenda.
Mayor, I need to add a quick discussion about insurance to the agenda, please.
Okay.
Mayor, I would like to table the 18-month schedule for our December 14th work session.
Okay. We have amendments to the agenda. Is there any discussion? Ready for a motion?
I move to approve the agenda as amended.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the approval of the amended agenda? Motion passes. Thank you.
Could I get that date once more? That's going to be December 18th? The 14th.
Work session is the 14th. Is that correct? Is that the
Thank
work
you.
session? Uh-huh.
I'm checking just to make sure.
I think it's 14th at 5 o'clock.
Yes, 14th at 5 o'clock.
Is that correct?
That would be correct.
Thank you.
Next, we'll have school recognitions. Emily Keel, will you please meet me at the podium? School recognition. It's Emily Keel. Emily has been a student of Zebulon Elementary since kindergarten. She's a top-notch student. She works diligently on every assignment and takes her time and strives to do her very best. Emily is also a student ambassador. She is dependable in many capacities around the school, from taking care of our flag daily to assisting with recycling efforts and helping in the library, to helping her classmates. Additionally, Emily has excellent behavior. She makes great choices when it comes to treating others with respect. Emily is an example of a role model student in every way. The town of Zebulon recognizes Emily Keel of the Zebulon Elementary School for being an outstanding student and role model for other students. On December 4th, 2023, signed by the Mayor, Glenn L. York. Next, teacher, Miss Ashley Lubisher. Did I pronounce that right? That's close enough? I will mess up a name now. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you're right here. Miss Lubisher is a new teacher in the area. Welcome.
Thank you.
But she excels at teaching whatever she is. It's just a few short months at the school. Ms. Lubisher has demonstrated herself to be a resourceful, creative planner and teacher who sets high expectations for all of her students. She has an urgency to ensure that all students are meeting grade level benchmarks, and for those already there, she moves them beyond benchmark. It is Ms. Lubisher's commitment to her students, the school and teaching profession, that I present her with the outstanding nominee for December 2023. The town of Zebulon recognizes Ms. Ashley Lubisher, Zebulon Elementary School, for her exceptional service and commitment to her students. Signed this day, Glenn L. York, Mayor, December 4th, 2023. Next, we have a proclamation of appreciation. Will Mr. Larry Laux come forward, please? Proclamation to Larry R. Laux for his service to the town of Zebulon. Whereas Larry was born in Indiana and moved to Zebulon in 1983. And whereas Larry wedded to the Zebulon native, Miss Denise Blackley. See one without the other. In 1990. And whereas he retired from North Carolina State University after 30 years with the Small Business Technology Development Center. Whereas in the community and town that he calls home, Larry wanted to be involved and chose to coach children in baseball and basketball with the Parks and Recreation Department. Larry began his service on the Board of Adjustments by attending his first meeting in March of 1990. He served as chairman for 24 years and ran an excellent meeting. And whereas he chose to continue his service to the town by running for office of becoming commissioner, and whereas Larry R. Laux served as a member of the Zebulon Board of Commissioners from December 2019 to December 2023. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Zebulon Board of Commissioners that we want to express our sincere appreciation for the time and energy to the town of Zebulon and the years of service as a member of the Board of Commissioners. Adopted this day, December 4th, 2023, signed by Mayor Glenn L. York. And Larry, it reminds me of the Hotel California. You can always check out, but you can't leave. Thank you for your service. We will recognize those that completed Government 101 series. Manager Moore.
Thank you, Mayor. Just occurred to me that this might be this building's first graduation in over 50 years. So,
Wow. Yeah.
More than that.
engaging citizens in local governance is both foundational to self-governance and the most meaningful and tangible opportunity for citizens to participate beyond voting. The question is not whether a local government should engage its citizens, but how to engage them meaningfully and productively. Citizen academies are one way to engage citizens by offering insight into the why and how their local government provides public services. Government 101, Zebulon's first Citizens Academy, offered 6 modules over this fall, including topics focused upon introduction to local government, stormwater, fire, police, planning, and parks and recreation. Kicking off in September, as many as 28 and an average of 25 citizens actively participated in these weekly modules by engaging in such activities from operating heavy equipment, and you know who you are, to planning a town. We are grateful to everyone who participated in these modules, both the citizens who were engaged students and the staff who created the modules and were engaging facilitators. We're especially grateful for the 15 citizens who committed to attend every single module over that 6-week period. The following attendees had perfect attendance and are being recognized as graduates of Zebulon's Government 101. As I call your name, please approach the mayor to receive your certificate and remain standing until all graduates have been recognized. First, Gina Bryant. Milton Bryant. Herschel Cassell. David Creech.
No, he still gets it. He still gets it.
Renee Creech. Antoinette Hall. As a side note, Antoinette will be receiving certificates for McCall and Mariah Hall. Important side note, McCall Hall recently has transitioned from our junior firefighter program into becoming a volunteer firefighter with us. Salil Harris. Denise Laux. I'm just reading it as it's written. Alla Precious Smith. Viola Webb. Viola Webb. And we weren't sure if the other perfect attendees would join us, but I'll go ahead and read them out. Sharon Harris. Angie Tardif. And Joanne Pippin. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the graduates of the town's inaugural Citizens Academy Government 101. Please join me in acknowledging the work they've dedicated to achieving this accomplishment.
We all get together a little bit. Get it together, Caleb.
Mayor.
The top two should be first. Thank you.
Good evening. Leanne Bagasala from our auditors, Malden and Jenkins, is here tonight to present the results of the FY23 audit. The Local Government Budget and Fiscal Control Act requires local governments to audit their accounts through independent auditors at the close of each fiscal year. Leanne's going to present the results of those, and then when she gets done, I'm going to go into a little bit of detail on some of the items. Does everybody have their CAFR or ACFR that they were given? I got a couple extras if not. Okay. All right. As I said, I'm going to turn it over to her, and then I'm going to discuss a little further when she gets done.
Hey, good evening. My name is Leanne Bagasala. I am an audit director at Malden and Jenkins, and I believe this is our third year serving as your external auditor. So I'm going to go over your fiscal year 2023 audit results. That's 7/1/2022 through 6/30/2023. I'm first going to go over who your engagement team is so you can be familiar with the names of the people that worked on your engagement. Then I'm going to go through your audit opinion. You have two of those. One's at the beginning of the financial statements and one's at the very end. And there are a couple slides where I'm going to go over some required communication. That's things that I'm required to tell the commissioners, and we do so through the PowerPoint presentation. There are some other matters that I wanted to discuss, some training we offer, some GASBs that are coming up, and then at any time, please feel free to ask questions. So this slide right here is just a graphic of who Maltas and Jenkins is. We are a firm based out of Atlanta, Georgia, with over 100 years of experience. Currently in fiscal year 2023, we serve 650 plus government clients. Our government practice makes up about a third of our audit firm. We have over 16 government partners. We're in 13 offices in 6 states. We just opened up our Raleigh, North Carolina office last year, and we've been in operation in that office for over a year, but we've been working in the state since 2015. I've served as your engagement director. I was the one that ultimately signed your audit opinions. The second partner, or the quality review partner, was Jane Bentz. Anything that I do as a signer of an audit has to be reviewed by a second partner. They're just reviewing me, checking to make sure I did my job and my due diligence, and they're independent of the audit, meaning they don't have any say whatsoever on what goes on the audit. They're just there at the end to make sure we did a good job. And then there were several senior associates and staff on the audit as well. So this next slide is your audit opinion, and there's a lot of words on this slide, so I'll try to go through what is here. We did issue our audit opinion as of October 14th, 2023. Our responsibility is to consider internal controls for the purposes of expressing an opinion on the town's basic financial statements, but not for purpose of expressing or providing an opinion on the effectiveness of internal controls. Our audit was performed in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles of the United States of America and government auditing standards. Our objective is to provide reasonable but not absolute assurance that the basic financial statements are free of material misstatement. But ultimately, the financial statements are the responsibility of town's management. For your audit opinion over the basic financial statements, we issue an unmodified or a clean opinion that your financial statements present fairly in accordance with generally accepted principles of the United States of America. But our responsibilities do not extend beyond the financial information contained in our report. So ultimately, you received a clean opinion. That's the highest level of assurance that we can provide. The next opinion that we have is what generally is referred to as a yellow book opinion or a government auditing standards report. In that package, we test the town's internal controls and compliance with laws and regulations. The report is not intended to provide an opinion on the internal controls, nor is it intended to provide a legal determination on the town's compliance with applicable laws and regulation. The report and the procedures performed are in accordance with government auditing standards, and you also received an unmodified or a clean opinion for your yellow book report. So basically, in summary, you received an unmodified opinion throughout the fiscal year 2023 audited opinions. The next couple slides are our required communication with governance. The first thing that I wanted to cover is the significant accounting policies. Management is ultimately responsible for all accounting policies that are used by the town. Those policies are described in Note 1 of the basic financial statements. In the current year, we did implement a new GASB standard. That's a Government Accounting Standards Board Statement 96. It's referred to as SABITAs, which is basically subscription-based IT arrangements. In the current year, we recorded a liability of $110,000 and a related asset of $105,000 for an IT arrangement that qualified under the standard. So ultimately, the net impact to the balance sheet was very minimal with implementation of this standard, but that is just something that we're required to do these days. And we also issued a management letter as part of our audit, and one of the things that's in that management letter is a recommendation to the town to implement thresholds for reviewing these capital assets that are now on your balance sheets. Just like you have a capital asset threshold for regular assets, like when you purchase an equipment piece, if it's below a certain amount, you just expense as incurred, but if it's over a certain amount, you capitalize it. We recommend that the town implement a policy specifically related to GASB 87, which was a standard from last year that we implemented related to leases, and then again for SABITA's 96 that we implemented in the current year. Basically, we're saying not everything is material to the town. So just make sure that, to reduce the amount of work that's being done by town finance, make sure you're coming up with the capitalization threshold and applying it throughout the town. But basically, based on our testing, all the policies that the town uses, we did believe that we're in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Also to note on this slide, there are a lot of judgments and estimates in your financial statements, and they're an integral part of preparing the financial statements. The town uses a lot of estimates. If you just think about depreciation expense, your pension and your OPEB liability, some of those are actually actuarially determined. There were no changes to the way that management calculated any estimates in the current year, and we found them to be reasonable. From a relationship standpoint, we received full cooperation from town's management and staff. We had no disagreements with management on accounting issues or financial reporting. As part of the audit, we do require management to complete a management representation letter, basically stating that the information that we obtained during the audit was accurate and complete to the best of their knowledge. We are not aware that management consulted with any other accountants. Basically, if there was any significant issues or concerns that management had during the year that related to accounting of transactions, we were involved in that throughout the year. From an audit adjustment standpoint, we did make adjustments throughout the audit, and those have been provided to management and included in the town's accounts, but there were no unrecorded or past audit adjustments. From a financial disclosure perspective, your aquifer is what I call it, in front of you has a lot of disclosures in there. And basically, I just wanted you to know, as part of our audit, we do review the disclosures to make sure they're neutral, consistent, and they provide clarity to the financial statement information. And then ultimately, the last thing that I wanted to point out, as Malden and Jenkins is independent of the town in the respective reporting processes. From a GASB announcement perspective, there are two statements that are coming down the pipeline. One is applicable for the next fiscal year related to Statement 100, and then we have Statement 101 related to compensated absences that will be applicable in fiscal year 2025. As those become applicable, we'll make sure that the town is properly implementing them as necessary. And this is actually the exact same slide I gave you last year about new accounting pronouncements. There are a lot of projects going on right now with GASB, but they actually haven't moved very much. So we still have several different projects out there that are still in the early phases. And as those projects become more substantive, we'll make sure that the town's management is aware of anything that they need to follow that's new. And then this slide right here talks about some additional government advisory services that we can offer. Some of these we're able to offer and maintain our independence, and some of them we are not. But if there is any additional projects that the town would like to see if that's something that we can help out with, this kind of gives you a list of some of the things that we are able to offer, but I'm obviously not an advisory person. I don't specialize in advisory, I specialize in audit. So if there are any questions, we could always have an advisory person come in and kind of talk to some of the things that they could do. And then this is one of the last slides we have. We do offer continuing education for town management. If they need that, we offer classes. It's 1 to 2 days every single quarter, and we offer a lot of variety of topics that help individuals get their continuing education, and that's free of cost to the town. And that is all that I have. Is there any questions related specifically to the audit?
Questions from the board? Thank you.
All right, thanks, Leanne. As I mentioned before, I'm going to kind of hit some highlights. These are items that are in the aquifer that you have. Just some key things to maybe take a look at. It's a very big document, obviously, about 100 pages, but I'm just going to hit a few highlights. On page 5 is the management discussion analysis, or also called the MD&A. This is a summary of the highlights of the financial statements that follow it. It kind of explains in a narrative form of what they are and what they convey. If you flip over to page 14, this is the balance sheet. You'll note toward the bottom half has fund balance info. You'll see the unassigned fund balance. And also just to point out, this is a snapshot at June 30th of 2023. These numbers obviously fluctuate during the year, but this is a snapshot of financial conditions at June 30th. You'll see the unassigned June 30th was about 10.3 million. That's up about 1.4 million or 16.1% over June 30th of 22. The unrestricted portions, about 15.8 million, up about almost 2.5 million or 18.6%. These are the portions that are everything but the restricted portions. So that's committed, assigned, and unassigned. Those restricted portions above the committed portions, these are mainly, the big chunks are the transportation impact fees and the recreation impact fees. You'll note, especially on the recreation impact fees, it's a large increase. This is implemented, this fee was January 1st of 2022. We have not spent anything on that yet, so that's why this balance is growing. The transportation impact fees, we are using some on some, I think, Green Pace and a Rendell project. But, you know, these are collected at final plat approval now. So they come in chunks when final plats are approved by the planning department. As I mentioned, the transportation impact fees used toward currently the North Arundel Green Pace intersection improvements.
With the unspent transportation and impact fees, any interest just goes back into that same pot, yeah? Or does that go into the general fund?
Interest earnings on those, they just go back into the general fund.
Okay, thanks.
All right, if you flip over to page 18, this is a schedule of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. In government, there's no such thing as an income statement or in the general fund, but this is sort of like an income statement. This is a summarized version of it. If you want to flip to 64 to 66, that's a more detailed version, kind of revenues and expenditures by categories a little bit. This is more of a summary version here on page 18. You'll see basically at the bottom line there, you got a net change in fund balance, addition of 5.3 million. This is revenues over expenditures, and any other transfers in, transfers out, and issuance of debt, things like that, kind of factor into that net change. I forgot to mention, just stop if you have any questions along the way. Then the notes begin on page 19. That's a pretty long section. This kind of explains a lot of details on pensions and a lot of other things. I won't address too many of those, but the statistical section begins on pages 79 to 80. The first one is the changes in net position. You'll see the bottom line, the net change for FY23 is almost $25 million addition. You'll note the last few years are really large increases, and that's due to all the development and the dedicated infrastructure. You know, like tonight, we'll be accepting, I think, 2 more phases of development. So when we accept that, that goes on our asset roll and becomes part of our net position. So streets and stormwater and sidewalks, all that stuff factors into these. Flip over to page 94. That's our assessed value detail for the last 10 years. This is the actual value of the taxable property for FY23. That was about 1.8 billion, up about 268 million or 17.5% over FY22. The real property, that's land and buildings. That's due the large increase, about 50, almost 60 million or 6.4%. That's due to a lot of the development coming online on the tax roll. Personal property, this one fluctuates a lot. That's based on business reinvestment in their equipment and so forth. This year, it was a total of about $789 million, up about $208 million, or almost 36%. This is good. It's also a volatile piece of our tax base that fluctuates due to economic conditions, such as, in a recession, some of these businesses might not reinvest in their equipment, lines going offline due to patent expirations, things like that. Flip over one page to page 96. Top taxpayers. Obviously, GSK is the largest. They're about 24% of our total tax base. Truist is next largest. They're about $313 million. $253 million of that is personal property, all the servers in there, and then the other 60 is the building. One thing of note, you look at number 5, 11, and 13. Those are all property management companies that, large corporate companies that own a lot of rental property throughout town. So that's kind of increased the last 5 or so years a lot. I don't remember them ever being, there might have been one in the top 15 in the past, but now there's 3 in the top 13. That's the highlights of what I wanted to point out. If anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to take them.
And so where can citizens get a hold of the financial report, and where can they find it online?
I will post it tonight. It's on the finance page. You go to departments, go to finance, and then there's a page that has all the, I think probably the last 14 or 15 of these in digital PDF, Word searchable, and et cetera.
And it will be labeled FY23.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Any other questions from the board? Comments? Thank you.
One thing to point out, this will be submitted to the Government Finance Officers Association Certificate of Achievement and of Excellence in Financial Reporting, their award program. That'll be done this week. Last year we got it for the award for the 30th year in a row, so we're going to go for this one with 31. So that takes about 6 to 9 months to find out results, but that'll be done this week, and hopefully know something by June or so. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Public comment. I think we had one to sign up. Anybody online or
No, sir.
email?
No, sir.
George, Roa. Okay. Over here, please. State your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Hi, everybody. My name is George Roa. I live at 744 Rose Mallow here in Zebulon. So congratulations on everyone getting elected / re-elected. Thank you for the police and the fire for everything that you do in this town. I don't want to make it seem I'm up here to gripe, just as a concern I want to raise. So I live in, if you take North Arundel all the way up till it becomes Zebulon Road, we're like the last kind of subdivision there. Tyrion Lakes and Tyrion Meadows were kind of combined. They're putting a street light in on the corner of North Arundel and Green Pace. And my question is, living there in the corner, kids get dropped off right on that corner of that street by a school bus going out of town. So they're on the right side of the lane closest to my house. I've noticed a lot of speeding, right? A lot of cars. If you're outside, you can hear the of cars flying by. So I went to the police last week and I asked, what is the speed limit if you exit Rose Mallow and you make a left to go into town? or if you make a right to go out of town, what is the speed limit right there at that intersection? And they told me 35 miles an hour. And I can just tell you that I don't think I've ever seen a car go 35 miles an hour there. Now, when I looked into it a little more, it seems like there's two different speed limits. There's 35 going into town, but then there's 45 going out of town. So I would just ask the commissioners of the town or everyone, if it would be possible to move the sign that says 45 miles an hour from before the entrance of our subdivision to a little bit past it. Because there is a street. The police that I spoke to were nice, and they told me that they hope that putting in that light in the corner of Green Pace and Arundel will eliminate the speeding. But there's one whole other intersection before you get to ours. So it's if you're coming into town, you hit a small one where Angel's Body Shop is, and then you get to that Green Pace. So if there's anything we can do, because I don't have any children, but when the school bus stops to drop them off, cars will just zoom around them. And we're so far out of town a little bit that we don't really see much police presence. I know Commissioner Miles was nice enough to jump into one of our HOA meetings, and we voiced our concerns, and the police have come through a little bit. There's been some incidents, so they've been forced to come through the neighborhood, but we would just kind of rather, for safety reasons. And just to give you an idea, I don't mind the traffic, although it's pretty bad. The speed at which cars come past the entrance is so unsafe that a lot of people in our subdivision just go out the other way. I don't know what street that is, but it's on the other side of the subdivision, so we'll drive through Tyrion Lakes, out of Tyrion Meadows to try to get into town. So if you can move that sign a little bit past it, because if I'm driving, I would think it's 45. But if I get pulled over and the police tell me it's 35, I'm gonna be confused.
Thank you. And if there's some cards that you can contact staff and get further information about your concern.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't think we had anyone else signed up for public comment. Next, we have the consent. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Second, Commissioner Miles. Discussion? Questions? All in favor? Consent agenda approved. Thank you. Old business. Police. Chief Borky.
Last month, I came before you all with a recommendation for a text amendment and was asked to do some further research. I've had the opportunity to sit down and talk with each of you during your monthly meetings, but still need to get a bit of feedback from what you're hearing from community and then your own opinion on law enforcement and alcohol service at special functions. So I'm asking that you table this item to allow us to do more research.
How long do you need to do?
Have a date and time
Oh, okay.
specific. It can just be tabled.
I make a motion that we table ordinances 2024-20, function events or dances where alcohol is served.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Clark. Any discussion? Hearing none. Are we ready to vote? I need a vote.
Yes, sir.
Yes. All in favor? Motion passes. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
New business.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the board. Tonight, I come in front of you to request a budget amendment to fund the hiring of a third-party engineering firm to assist the Public Works Department with workload issues dealing with acceptance, development, and the closeout process. You may recall in 2023, we accepted 6.25 miles of street and storm drainage pipe and for 9 phases of subdivisions currently under construction. That was a record increase for us at 20%. With tonight's adoption of the consent agenda, we accepted four more subdivision phases. That brings us a total of 6 in 5 months, and a total of 3.46 miles. So the pace is accelerating, and Public Works Department is struggling to keep up with this and provide timely response to our developers. So we have come before you tonight to ask if you'll fund what we are considering 90 days worth of professional services at $26,000 to allow us to enter into contract with LBJ Engineering. LJB Engineering currently works with us for the development process in the upfront process of the reviewing the subdivision, so that transition to the closeout process should be smoothly. So tonight we ask you recommend that you approve ordinance 2024-22, and I stand ready to answer any questions you may have.
Questions, comments from the board? Commissioner Baxter?
Like with the pace that we're going, of course, it sounds like we need some kind of stopgap measure, but it sounds even more like you need some extra help on your team. Would this be better off as a new hire, or is it so emergent that we've got to bridge the gap and then we can do a new hire? And can we do that this fiscal year?
Yes, ma'am. That is one of the things that when the manager and I sat down and talked about this, we felt like it was immediate that we needed to build a bridge to get us the help we needed, and also to sit down and look further at, is this the best long-term approach to use contract service or hire? And so over the next 90 days, we'll be looking at this to come back with you with a recommendation to potentially continue this contracting services or potentially hire. So that we do expect to be back in front of you with a recommendation in the near future.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments from the board? Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-22.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Harrison. Comments, questions, discussion? Are we ready to vote? Yes. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Board comments?
We have another item that was added, insurance
The insurance.
discussion.
Okay. Yes, Commissioner Baxter.
So I sent out an email earlier today. We, the board, had prior agreed that anyone that wanted to shop for their own insurance out in the open market would get the same amount that they would if they were to take the cost of insurance from the town. We did not vote on that, however, and so I'm just looking for us to close that gap and vote to approve anyone that wants to be able to go out and shop on the open market to be able to do so and get compensated at the same rate that that we get compensated if we take the insurance from the town.
Any comments from staff?
Yes, sir. There will be budget implications to this, so if the board is interested, my recommendation is they direct staff to do a fiscal and a policy analysis, and we'll come back to you with that report.
How long will this report take?
We can come back by your next regular meeting.
I think that this needs to happen before this. I mean, we have the amount budgeted to be able to purchase the insurance for each employee at 100%. And so we should have the money to disperse that. And if I'm not understanding that correct, could I have an explanation?
So two things. The first thing is we are in open enrollment right now with our employees, and we don't know what package they're going to pick. And depending upon the package that they pick, meaning the insurance coverage, that will affect and influence the amount of budget money we have available. So we need to complete open enrollment, and we won't do that until the end of this month. So that's point number one. Point number two is if we were to offer a 100% reimbursement, meaning if someone did not want to participate in our insurance program and wanted to get the equivalent value back, we would actually have to budget more money because we have to budget additional money to account for the taxes that would be taken out. So we're actually talking about a budgeted amount more than the 100%. So I know that that has not been budgeted. So to summarize, because we're in open enrollment and we don't know how that's going to impact the budget, and because to have a full reimbursement based on the equivalent value of the insurance, meaning that we would have to budget more to account for taxes, we won't have those numbers until any sooner than your January regular meeting. So that's why I put out that time frame.
And so at that point, open enrollment will be over, and then anyone that wishes to go to the open market, will they just be reimbursed the difference?
No, it doesn't work that way. Once they've signed up, you have to have a qualifying event to come off the insurance.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying that if someone chooses to forego the town insurance and get the 75% payout,
Yes.
when we get the numbers back in January, will they get the additional payout?
So if I'm understanding your question correctly, if you change the policy to be that they get 90 or 100%, are you asking would we pay them the difference?
Correct.
We would, but our policy states that the only way you can opt out is if you are on another group plan. So the marketplace is not a group plan. You would have to be on your spouse's insurance or have retirement insurance, as some of our elected officials do have.
Okay, well, I would like that analysis to happen, please. And do we need to vote for that as a directive?
We would, just to make sure everyone's on the same page as far as understanding what the directive is and that there is actually majority support for that directive.
Okay, so I'm going to make a motion then that we do the budget analysis to see what the payout would be and what the implications are for the 100% payout as opposed to the current 75% payout.
Dates.
I'm sorry? By the January board meeting.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Motion would die for lack of a second.
Do you have a question?
Can I ask a question before we, I need to get a better understanding. That's why I'm not, I don't
Let's
want
have a
to.
second before we discuss it, though, so that's why.
Yeah, okay. Well,
You can second it, and then you don't have to vote for it.
okay, second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion.
So I'm just trying to get a better understanding of what exactly is this beneficial? Like, what exactly are we doing and what are we looking for? I mean, I understand that we need more information, but I just want to make sure that I'm understanding exactly what we're doing, what you're asking for.
So years ago, in order for us to get a break in insurance, and this is, I'm sure that if I'm not recounting this correctly, someone can, because this was before my time. in order for us to get a break on insurance, we had to have 50 people signed up for the insurance. And so we changed the payout amount if you didn't take the insurance from 100% to 75%, just so it would be more, it would look, we would have more people that would opt in instead of opt out. But now we are beyond that, and we would never have 27 or however many it is probably opt out of the insurance at this point. I don't know when the next cost break would be, but it doesn't seem like that policy is really as important now as it was in the past. But we do have people that would like to be able to opt out.
People or person?
I'm sorry?
There were people or person?
People.
Any further discussion? We have a motion and a second.
Mayor, we recognize the HR director.
One of the things I would like to say is that the more people that opt out and that are not on the policy, it hurts us. So if we get down, you know, the higher our numbers are, the better chances we have of getting a better rate. And the next break is at 100. And as we're moving in that direction, if more people opt out, it does not help us.
Any further discussion? Are we ready for a vote on the motion and the second?
Voting just for more discussion, information be gathered, correct?
Yep.
We have a roll vote. We'll start with Commissioner Davis.
Don't do that to her.
Hey, you got to jump right in.
It's fine.
Trial by fire.
Fine. I just want to make sure we are just voting for more information. Yes.
Favor.
Favor.
Commissioner Harrison?
Favor.
Commissioner Clark?
Favor.
Commissioner Miles? Favor. Commissioner Baxter?
In favor.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Board comments. We'll start with Commissioner Davis.
Welcome aboard.
What do you got to say? What do you got to say, Commissioner Davis?
No, it's fine. I've been thinking all day of what it is that I would say, and I'm just going to genuinely speak from the heart. It is an honor and a privilege to be up here on this board. I do not take this lightly. I am very excited to be sitting next to 5 very highly qualified people. I personally don't think we could have had a better board, and to be a part of it is an honor. So I just want to say to each and every person that voted for me, thank you so much for your support, and I will do my best, my due diligence to do right by this town. And even those that did not vote for me, I still value you. I value each and every citizen that is here. As I always say, this is our town, and this is our future, and it lies right here on this board. So I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you that is on this board, as long as each and every one of you that is a citizen, and those who are sitting next to me on my left. So I just want to thank you for this time and this opportunity, and I look forward to the future.
Thank you. And don't act right, I'm going to call your uncle.
I'm good.
Oh,
They
okay.
left.
I still not got his number. Commissioner Harrison?
Oh, thank you. I share the same sentiments as Commissioner Davis. If I had to use one word to describe this campaign season and election day, it would be humbling It was a very humbling experience. It's been a very humbling opportunity to serve with some of the greatest leaders in the land. I'm so honored to have learned as much as I have learned from each of you, and especially from you, Commissioner Laux. Thank you for all that you have poured into me personally. And so I just want to say thank you for that, and I appreciate and I love Zebulon. I want to remind everybody about Deck the Halls this Friday. It will be here on Town Hall from 5 to 8 p.m. So please come out. It is going to be a great event. There are some people working very, very hard to make this a successful event. So I just ask that if you have time, please come out and share in this experience with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Baxter?
Shaking it up tonight. Yeah, this is awesome. It's exciting to be here again, to do this for 4 more years. I feel so honored to have been entrusted with guiding the town through what's going to be some really turbulent times. We've got a lot going on. And so I'm glad to be here as a part of it. I'm excited to work with all of these board members that I have really grown to respect quite a lot. I think that we're going to be able to get some really fantastic things done for this community. And I'm just very, very grateful to be able to continue my work. We've had a wonderful Candy Cane Lane. We've got Deck the Halls coming up. And I encourage everyone that hasn't already done some winter preparedness to start thinking about that. I try to keep my eyes on what Chief Perry sends out into the community as far as like when it's time to, like change your smoke alarm, which has already passed, so if you haven't done that, do it immediately. But making sure that we're prepared, because even though we are inland, still we get some tricky weather situations here, and certainly we want to be prepared for those. My heartfelt condolences go out to the Ellis family in what can only be described by me, someone who was hit by a van crossing a road in a crosswalk at dark in rainy weather in October of last year. It's horrific, and my condolences to the family. I am very emotionally tied up in what has happened, and can just really, really want to encourage everyone to please be careful when you're driving through our town. We are still a small town, and people sometimes cross in unpredicted areas and at unpredictable times. So please be cognizant when traveling through our sweet town so that something like this never, ever happens again. Thank you.
Commissioner Clark.
Back to me. I just want to say I'm looking forward to working with all of the new and returning. So I'm looking forward to it. We've got a lot of work ahead of us, and I think we will work hard together.
Commissioner Miles.
Not much from me, but I would like to welcome back Commissioner Baxter, Commissioner Harrison, and welcome Commissioner Davis aboard. I would also like to give a huge shout out to all who have made 2023 and more an amazing year in Z-Town that we couldn't even imagine, from our staff to our fellow commissioners, to all of our friendly people, to our businesses, and everyone in between. Each piece of this puzzle is vitally important, and Zebulon could and would not be the town it is without each piece of the puzzle. I can't wait to see what we all do in 2024. And lastly, as Commissioner Baxter has already stated, it is with a heavy heart I would like to pay a tribute to one of our iconic pieces of the puzzle we tragically lost recently, Ms. Vivian Ellis. Many of us know as Picanic. She was a whole vibe and was loved by all who knew her. If you believe in the power of prayer, please send prayers to her family during this time. Holla back, 1, 2, 3. And one last, unity through community for 2023. Happy holidays to all.
Thank you. This past week, we lost two of great leaders in Wake County. One was Mr. Ralph Capps, the Wake County CEO, Boys and Girls Club. Ralph was, he worked very hard in promoting the Boys and Girls Club and helping us here in Zebulon get into our new facility. He was with the Boys and Girls Club for over 50 years. Ralph was a humble guy. He never took a lot of credit for a lot of things that was done, but he was always there to make sure that it got done. So, in loving memory of Mr. Ralph Edwards Capps. Also, we lost another giant in the Wake County. Dr. James Preston West served as the Board of Wake County Commissioners. Dr. West was a wealth of knowledge. It was always, he always had a story to tell you about something, a backstory. One of his main focuses was, if you can eliminate poverty, you can eliminate a lot of problems that we have. Poverty is man-made. It is not something that just happens to people. So with that in mind, we all can do better and work harder to eliminate poverty. Thank you. Manager Moore, report.
As part of the manager's report, I'll recognize our planning director, Michael Clark, for a development update.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the board. As always, we will start the development update using our interactive development map. That can be found on the town's website under the planning tab. Moment here. Easiest way to get there is to scroll down to the middle of the page. And with everything, it's easier if you do go full screen with this. A couple of the highlights, while we didn't get any new major subdivisions in, a couple items to bring into your attention. The Zebulon South subdivision located here, we're expecting this to come back before you for joint public hearing in January. I know that some of you have met with the applicants. Being that it's a legislative case, you're welcome to do so. For the public, anytime that you click on our interactive development map, you'll be able to get the current sets of the plans to be brought up. Additionally, on the interactive development map page, it does have all the different projects listed, and it'll show you the timeline that these different applications will go through as part of the development process. A couple of the other projects since we last spoke, we do have a new application coming in for the relocation of of a fitness facility, which will be a new construction located here to provide context. North Arundel, Pierce's, Hendricks, they're going to be asking for a conditional rezoning for this particular site. Not only will it be a fitness facility, but there's going to be two out parcel tenant spaces. Additionally, we did receive construction drawings for Zebulon Animal Hospital. The first round of comments from our technical review committee should be going out in the next couple days. We've received, we're continuing to receive comments and working with the developer for the Storage Max facility located at Shepherd School and Proctor Street, where the future stoplight at Old Bunt and Shepherd School will be going in. Additionally, we've received construction drawings for what I can now tell you is going to be a 7-Eleven located on North Arundel at Dogwood. We're working through our technical review committee to get those comments back to the applicant as quickly as possible. Finally, there's been a lot of questions. Yes, Tractor Supply is still moving forward. They're working with the railroad currently to request easements for the sewer to run under. Originally, they had agreements with another property owner. After the approval, those agreements fell through. So they are looking to connect the sewer south of the railroad tracks. As always, the planning department's available if anybody does have any questions regarding these or any other developments, but I'm available if you have any questions tonight.
So will that have to connect underneath the railroad then? So that's going to perhaps cause a stoppage of train activity for a while?
No, the way that this would be engineered is it would be bored under the railroad, and they would do it at a time when there's no anticipated trains going through, but will not require removal of the tracks.
Okay, cool.
Do we know what happened to the first approval, that the other parcel that they had approval from the first time? Do we know what happened there, Mike?
I've heard speculation from a couple different entities, but it'd be inappropriate for me to comment on those.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions, comments for the planning director?
Can you give us an update on Lily's and where they're at in the process?
They are, I do not have a current update on this. I know that they've submitted for construction drawings, and they're working with our police and fire departments as part of technical review committee, I believe, but I do not have update if they received their certificate of occupancy yet.
Who is this now? Any other questions, comments for the planning? Thank you. Manager's report.
Next, I'll recognize our Human Resources Director, who, as you saw tonight, is doubling as our town clerk.
So currently, we have three full-time positions listed. We have police officer, planning technician, and town clerk. The first two are open until filled. We're having a little bit of difficulty filling those, but we're working on doing some things to hopefully open that up. Town clerk, we have 27 applications, and that closes on the 21st.
December 21st?
Yes, ma'am. And we currently have two full-time positions that have closed, the firefighter position and the town engineer. And then we've got several part-time positions that are open. As the manager mentioned earlier, open enrollment is beginning this week, and it goes through Monday at 5 p.m. You'll all get information on that email to you tomorrow. And then, that will also go out to all the employees as well.
Any questions?
So we've already filled the activity coordinator, I think that position we had through Park
Pardon
and
me?
Have we already filled the activity coordinator, or that position that Park and Rec had? It was a position.
The program coordinator?
Correct, program
Yes,
coordinator.
that
We've
was
already
filled with an in-house position.
Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, comments?
When do we anticipate the IT positions and the assistant manager positions to go live?
Hopefully in January. IT will definitely go in January.
And the assistant town manager as well in January?
That's our hope, but I don't have that definite nailed down yet.
What's the hold up?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, comments for HR? Thank you. Manager's report.
And I'll recognize our finance director, Bobby Fitz. He's got some budget transfers to make you aware of.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What'd you do?
Thank you. I just have a couple quick ones. In engineering, moved 10,000 from salaries to professional services. And then in Parks and Recreation, moved 10,000 from salaries 5,000 that to part-time salaries, programs and events, and the other 5,000 to part-time salaries, athletics. And then move 5,000 from contract services to part-time salaries, parks maintenance. And that's all. Thank you.
Any questions? Comments? Thank you. Anything else?
No, sir, that concludes the manager's report.
Thanks, everyone, for coming out tonight. We definitely appreciate the citizens group. I remember when I first got on the board, we couldn't get anybody to sign up for any of this stuff. And now to see that we have a graduating class, it's just shown that the progress and the interest of the citizens to empower yourselves to be involved in your community. So thank you. Anything else from the board? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?